This mic has its own mute button. Hi, people. Welcome
Never
to
would.
ASMR with Shadow.
Oh yeah, I should do the intros for us, but with like the whole radio sound vibe.
Oh my gosh, we could. Yay, people are here. Hello, friends. Can you hear us? Because I'm actually concerned about that right now. I'm not just joking, but
Yeah, let's get a mic check from the audience, please.
yes, mic check. All right, so Shadow has a new microphone, so he's gonna sound fucking clear today.
Yeah, I got this razor joint. I was trying to get a Yeti, and they were like, "We're out of Yetis, but we have this razor joint for $30 less." I was like, "All right, I'll give it a try."
I don't know, it's pretty good. It sounds really nice. You sound so like clear. Before we start, this is Shadow's baby today. He's been waiting for almost a month now to talk about it because we planned it and then I went on vacation for 2 weeks and then last week we didn't have the people and so then we're finally able to do it this week. But I wanted to show our friends what Vanessa is wearing today because she didn't even say anything. She just sat there and I was like, why does she look so familiar? So, I mean, just everyone in chat, guess who Vanessa is today because she's looking good. She's doing some cosplay today.
Wow, bootylicious and everything.
I know. So, who
You
are you?
go, girl.
Yeah.
You're rocking it today. Rocking
I am a bootleg Tifa.
A
because
bootleg-
I did not put.
I don't know. I feel like you're doing Tifa better than Tifa.
That's what I said. I was like, that actually looks really good. Like,
like I'd rather be hanging out with Vanessa right now than Tifa if I had the choice.
I know.
Bigger boots and actual martial arts skills, but thank you.
No, you look amazing. I'm so glad. Drowned Summer asked if you're Kate Sith, Ket Sheen, but
I wish.
no, that's Doctur today. I need to step up my game. I'm wearing a fucking giraffe shirt today. Like I'm just wearing like a shirt with a giraffe on it. Anyways, huh?
There's kind of a giraffe in 15, like that one giant antelope.
Oh, I have that mountain. I forgot what it's called, but it's a mountain Final Fantasy 14 too that looks like a giraffe. Chi-Ji says, duh, that's the real life Tifa. Come on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
You're so cute. Anyways,
Straight up.
Shadow
They wanted to do a live action Final Fantasy. They're calling you up, Vanessa.
Yeah, they are.
I hope so.
You're our bartender and everything. Of course. They better. No, it's just for publicity. So Shadow, tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
I mean, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about like when Squaresoft or Square, when they really started blowing up and getting really popular after Final Fantasy VII. There was like this period of time when so much was happening, like big things for Sakaguchi, like Final Fantasy VII, and then you had everybody clamoring for more. Square was like discussing stuff with Enix, and then they started merging, and then you had all these side games that came out on the PS1 that were just like all over the place because they had so much money and success that they were like, let's experiment. So we're going to talk about our love for things that may not be getting much love these days, and some props for some of the grandparents of Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much anything but Final Fantasy we're going to talk about today. There's a lot. There's so much with this one. This might be a long episode, but I'm interested to see what you guys all say because I haven't heard of a lot of these games. I've now known about them because of Shadow, but yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start? I've got pictures and everything. It's all up to you. Shadow?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you want me to pick?
I thought you died.
I'm like, are you guys picking?
No, it's up to you, homie.
All right, so there's no rhyme or reason or order to any of this stuff. Let's talk about some of the PS1 games that came out around this time. So I want to give a special shout out to Parasite Eve. That's the first one we can talk about.
Oh, here, let me find that picture.
Parasite Eve stars one of my wifeys. Her name is Aya, or Aya. I don't know however you want to pronounce it.
Parasite Eve. I don't know if you gave me a picture of that.
It launched on the PS1. It had a sequel on the PS1, and then there was a long hiatus, and the third game came out on the PSP, but that flew way under the radar, even more so because it wasn't even labeled as a Parasite Eve game. It was labeled the third birthday. I actually had to like turn the box art over and look at the back cover to see what kind of game it was.
Oh, okay. And then you
I'm
said
a little quiet. Okay, that's good.
in our
I
notes
picked up
that
the mic check.
this volume 1 disc
Mhm.
that is displayed on the screen right now came out with Parasite Eve that has Final Fantasy VIII, Musashi, Xenogears, and Bushido Blade.
Yeah, so Square started putting out demo discs, bundling them, like with some games or putting them out with magazines and stuff. So the 1998 Collector CD Volume 1 that came with Parasite Eve. So it was an incentive for gamers to buy, like these little spin-off games like Parasite Eve. Oh, you get your first glimpse at Final Fantasy VIII, which people were dying for. They were so hype on Final Fantasy VII, and Square used the opportunity to help advertise all these other projects. So for Final Fantasy VIII on the disc, it's like a teaser trailer, and that was the first look anybody had ever had about Final Fantasy VIII, and that was cool because you didn't have to go to a game magazine. Like you had a demo disc in your hands that did this for you. And then it had a demo for Xenogears, which, I mean, if you recognize my Twitter avatar, it's probably my favorite video game of all time. And they had videos for Brave Fencer Musashi and Bushido Blade 2. So Bushido Blade, if I remember correctly, came out before Final Fantasy VII. We can talk about that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all of these came bundled with Parasite Eve. One of the biggest mentions that I wanted to talk about with Parasite Eve was the battle mechanics were turn-based, which this was still Square's eras of turn-based, but you had like an arena. You weren't just in a fixed battle sequence and you were just pointing and clicking. You were actually able to move around, and each of your attacks had different radius bubbles that showed you like your range. Like, is the attack going to connect? Are you close enough to land like a critical hit, and vice versa? And really, you had to factor in like, okay, if this enemy is moving around this arena, what chances do I have to best, dodge attacks or defend against attacks? So have you guys seen other games where Square implemented a more like point and click turn based but more free running during the battle kind of game?
Oh yeah, so actually when you said that, I immediately thought of Dragon Quest because I only played the demo for Dragon Quest, but it did have something just like that, where it was more.
Which one?
11 is the one that I played.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it still kind of had elements of that. But then I had a question about the demos. So the demo discs that are on here. So it was like a demo these days where you download it and you get to play like a certain like amount of time, right? Was it just like that?
Yeah, so like you can even find these demo discs on YouTube where you'll see like what the menu was like or what the demo disc was like. You basically just boot it up, PlayStation logo, and it brings you to this menu where you can play Xenogears, or you can watch these teaser trailers. So like all of that was just on one disc. And it was really cool for the time because the only other source you had for demo discs were from like game magazines if you were lucky. There was never, you never knew when you were going to get a demo disc back in the day.
Man, I wish they make it like that now to make it a little bit more meaningful,
Yeah, it's like now you have like a piece of history in your hands.
Yeah. Do you have any of these still?
I have all of them.
Oh my gosh. I would pop one of those in. And then, I mean, do you want to go on to Brave Fencer? Or, hold on. Oh, God, we have so many pictures and stuff to talk about. It's awesome, though. It's like, I've never heard of most of this stuff. So Parasite Eve was one, and then we had Xenogears. And tell us about Xenogears, and chat as well, if you know anything about Xenogears. Here's the picture up.
Yeah, Xenogears was, I don't know, like, I have no words. It's my favorite game of all time. It really resonated strongly with me because the main protagonist, I mean, spoilers, he's got some kind of mental conditions. And so like games that I can personally connect with, um, always have this like sweet spot. But there was a lot of richness and a lot of connections there that I had never got from any other game in the past. And the story was really, it was deep. It was deeper than any Final Fantasy game. And I feel like the amount of content in the game was revolutionary compared to even Final Fantasy VII. So you had, um, so you're basically like anime art style, walking around as sprites in a 3D open world. Um, and it's a traditional like turn based where it's your character in a field with monsters or whatever. But a second layer to that, eventually in the game, you unlock the ability to get mechs, like giant robots that you can like sit in, and now you're engaging a different type of battle system where it's you can either be in a mech and just basically squish like these tiny little like rats or world monsters, or you could be fighting against other large enemies, and you could like dismount your mech and stuff like that. And it's really interesting because the game used a combo system for your attacks, and you start out knowing none, or maybe like one, and basically through practice the leveling system in there allowed you the ability to unlock more combos. And so they had like a combo point system that limited based on your level to like what kind of combo you can use. So like X triangle could be a combo at some point, or triangle triangle that could be a combo at some point. And it wasn't infinite, like any button combination resulted in a combo. No, there were special combos that were unique to each character. And they covered all the different types of classes, like that you would expect from a JRPG.
Wow. Yeah, you have a lot of notes on this one. So this one
It
is.
kind of.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the whole combo system that kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VI, with the monk-based character, where you had to put the inputs in correctly to do his combo.
Oh yeah,
abilities.
the blitz arts.
Oh,
The blitz, yep.
Yeah, so like with the blitz arts, you can do like D-pad or button presses. Same thing with Xenogears. Like the whole combat was based on that. And you can combo in your mech or without your mech. It didn't matter. And the story, if anybody's familiar with anime, it took a lot of inspiration from religion, number one, and number two from Neon Genesis Evangelion, which was huge in the mid '90s as an anime. And Xenogears has a huge and a very strong cult following. The developers of Xenogears then spun off and went with Namco and ended up creating like a spiritual successor trilogy called Xeno Saga.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe they're also the same developers that made the Xenoblade Chronicles. I think I wrote that in my notes, right?
I was gonna say, does this have anything to do with Xenoblade? Because the titles. I also haven't played Xenoblade. I've played a little bit, but
You have a Switch, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, get into Xenoblade.
Oh, I know it's a lot of time. Like I've been hearing nothing but good things about it, but I wasn't sure if these two connected, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how this one is still very underrated, even though Xenoblade has kind of made a big hit, recently.
Honestly, though, because I remember when it was like coming out in a couple of days, my entire Twitter feed was just nothing but Xenoblade.
Yeah, for days.
Like I hadn't played it ever, so I was like, maybe I'll get it.
Yeah, did you play it, Doctur?
I did not play it actually.
Oh.
It's gone on the list of games that I intend to play soon. It's just getting such a long list.
Oh yeah, our backlogs are crazy. I wanted to point out something. Oh, it was Drunk Gamerette. Drunk, can you say what you said in chat? It's really sad.
Oh yeah, no. So like when I was a kid, I went to the video game store and just to like buy a new game, and I picked up Xenogears, but my dumbass lost it on the bus ride home, so I never got to play it. I came that close.
Oh no!
Wait, so you bought it and then you lost it immediately? You didn't even get to touch it?
Yeah, like I mean, I got to. Yeah, I looked at it. Like I looked at the case, and I looked at the back. I didn't get to see what the disc looked like.
I got to feel it.
I got to feel it, but no, it's okay. Like whoever found it, I hope they liked it. I hope it, was a good influence on their life.
Oh God.
It's okay. I'll find
Vanessa,
another.
what attracted you? Do you remember what attracted you to it when you saw it in the store?
What was it? Okay.
Like, what made you buy it that day?
It had a pretty cover and it said Squaresoft on it, so I was like, ooh, Square.
Sold.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the
That's all it
game,
takes.
the game released on 2 discs. A lot of people complained because it was actually rushed. Because again, the priority during that era was Final Fantasy VIII, and this was meant to be like a filler. So basically the whole second disc, instead of having playable content, a lot of it was trimmed into like anime cutscenes and just text dialogue with like automatic real time cutscenes, like in game graphic cutscenes. And that was a bit disappointing at the second half of the game, but I don't know. I can't say enough praise about the game, but I don't want to spoil anything because it's on PSN. You can play it on your Vita, on your PS3, on your PSP even, and I encourage anybody who's still got any of those consoles, pick it up. It's probably like $5 or $10 and give it a shot.
I kind of
Or just watch videos of it on YouTube.
Right, it's so accessible now. Drown Summer also said kind of the same thing as you, that the second disc was affected by the budget, and that happened with Chrono Cross as well. It's kind of sad because I feel like if it's like the games nowadays, like 15 especially, I don't know if 15 ever ran out of a budget, but just like the incompleteness of some of the Square Enix games is very annoying. So
It's a lot of like the politics stuff. Like if it's not a mainline Final Fantasy game, then sometimes you gotta cut corners.
Right. So your next game is Brave Fencer Musashi. I probably always say this wrong. Musashi. My current Discord picture is something from this because I thought this game looked adorable. I've never played it before, but
it's super adorable.
Is it? I mean, have you guys played it, Doctur, Vanessa?
No, I haven't, but I'm getting Sonic the Hedgehog vibes.
A little bit. Oh my god. Yeah. Chat, let us know if you played this. What?
Yeah, anybody in chat, have you played Brave Fencer Musashi?
What were you gonna say, Doctor?
I was gonna say, when I first started looking over this like a very extensive list, I was surprised about how many of these games I actually haven't even heard of.
Same.
So this has been, I'm sitting here absorbing because it's all probably going to be added to the backlog.
I know, it's horrible. We're like, oh, hello, Lieutenant. So yeah, tell us about Brave Fencer Musashi.
So Brave Fencer Musashi is an action RPG, which wasn't common for them back in those days, and it was almost completely 3D based. So it definitely took advantage of the PS1 with like the amount of polygons they can draw and stuff. And other games around the time came out from other developers like Legend of Legaia. But Brave Fencer, I believe, was the first. It was a Square game. And it was inspired by the real-life samurai, Miyamoto Musashi, who wrote the Book of Five Rings. And I think everybody should read that book. That's like my religion.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. So what is it?
Love that book.
More like historical rather than fantasy?
No. Just really, it's like the character. He's basically kind of inspired by Miyamoto Musashi, and this guy's just like a traveler. But it's your typical like, we need you to save the world. And what's really cool is that you dual wield your weapons, and I believe it's the square and the triangle button to differentiate between like weak and strong attack. And all of it is just like in real time. It's all action RPG. They had a bunch of nice Easter eggs, which is where your Discord picture comes from.
Oh, yeah.
It's like bunny creature that's a collectible in the game, and when you collect all of them, you get to fight their mom, and so that's you.
Yay. Yeah, and I was saying, so we were talking about that when we were kind of setting this up, and I was like, oh, this is like Legend of Zelda with, I can't remember their freaking names, those little octopus creatures that you have, like, you find the mom and then it scatters its babies everywhere and you have to find all the babies to like get a heart, and there's like 40 babies across the whole entire world, and I was like, wow.
It's something like that.
Yeah, and that didn't come till later in Legend of Zelda, so I wonder if they like got inspiration from the damn bunnies in this game.
Probably.
I don't know, it's just interesting. So
a big reason why this sold well especially in the US back then, even though nowadays a lot of people are like, what, I never heard of this game. It came bundled with the first playable demo of Final Fantasy VIII. So anybody who wanted a taste of Final Fantasy VIII, you had to get Brave Fencer Musashi, and that was a crucial selling point on Square's
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that being huge. It's also really interesting.
Yeah, and then also, so you put on the bottom of our notes, it was the 17th best-selling game for Japan in 1998 and was originally compared to Legend of Zelda. And then they
Yeah.
also fucking stole the rabbits. Legend of Zelda was like, fuck this game, trying to compare us. So it was just crazy. I don't ever see anyone playing these three, ever.
You can actually still get it if you can read Japanese. It's available on the Japanese PlayStation Network store. Or, I mean, I guess if you don't want to read it, if you have like a script dialogue translator that you can get online, you can just, do a region purchase. That's
Wait.
a little bit more out of the...
Yeah.
you were going to ask me something?
Drown says that you had to remember to sleep in this game.
Yes, there was a sleep cycle in the game too, day and night. And you can get exhausted. So I think that part drew like from the reality of like Miyamoto Musashi. Like I guess they wanted to like make you feel like a traveler or adventurer with that. I don't remember too much about the sleep mechanic, but I do remember it was there in the game.
Wow.
And it would affect like how strong you were at a given moment.
That's crazy. I was gonna ask something else. So you still have this game, right?
I have actually 2 copies of it.
Oh my god. I bet you could sell that fucking English one like hotcakes. Just like, who wants it? Yeah, because you said you have never gotten rid of an original game. In the last episode we talked about our childhood games, so
Yeah,
you have a very rare item on your hands.
and I've got the demo disc on both of them. The Final
Jeez.
Fantasy VIII demo disc.
Can I be written in your will to just like have all of your games when you die? Like, and I bestow my games to Hylia. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so
Lesser known than this, actually, the PS2 got a sequel for this game in 2005. I have that one as well.
oh,
I'm sure
okay.
that one's pretty rare.
Yeah, because Drown said that he tried to play it, but he could not finish it. And also said that there was a really pointless relic. You had the ability to automatically learn what an item was, but you had to take it back to town to sell.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. I haven't played it since, 98 when it came out? Yeah,
Oh, wow.
October
So it's
98.
been a while.
I played it, played through it, beat it, and then that's it. I hadn't played it again. And then at some point in like the mid-2000s, I eBayed a second copy to have as a spare.
Oh my gosh. Good thing you did, because now you can only get it in Japanese. This next one, I'm kind of excited because I didn't know about this until you brought it up. But does anyone recognize this very beautiful image here of what it looks like Vincent Valentine and Cloud fist fighting.
Yeah.
What game is that, Shadow? I've never heard of this.
This one's called I'm probably gonna butcher it. It's called Air Guys. Square made a beat 'em up. Not a beat 'em up. Fighting game. Basically, Final Fantasy characters way before Dissidia. It had other characters as well that were unique to the game, but the biggest selling point was let's feature our Final Fantasy characters in here so that people buy this game. And it's pretty sought after by collectors now.
That's crazy, yeah. Because I remember when you just put the picture up for us, and we were like, "Is that real?" And you were like, "Yeah, you guys have never heard of this." Yeah, but so it was pretty much like a Tekken Dissidia. Shadow. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, mic
you're
problems.
good. No, you're
I fixed it. Yeah, I mean it was like a Tekken Dissidia for
the fuck. Okay, sorry. We're good. What the fuck happened there? Is Discord messing
We all lost sound at the same time.
Yeah, and then we got back up. Okay, that was weird. As long as we're good now.
Yeah, I think we're audible on Twitch chat.
Yeah.
We're what?
Okay. Twitch can hear us.
Oh,
like
okay.
we're okay on
Cool. So wait, okay. What were you saying, Shadow?
This one also had an arcade release as well, so this was big in the arcades. And
Wow.
these type of fighting games are actually huge back then. Like PlayStation had Battle Arena Toshinden, you had the Tekken series, you had Virtual Fighter series from Sega. So like this was a welcome addition to that. There are a couple of games like this. Sega had one called Fighters Megamix. Like these over-the-top 3D fighters were like that was kind of the thing back then, and I thought that was really awesome. Like, for example, like playing as Cloud versus Sephiroth or Cloud versus Vincent, or like in Fighters Megamix, you could play as the race car from Daytona, USA.
Oh my
and,
god.
you need to like YouTube it. Go to YouTube and be
What?
like Fighters Mega Mix Daytona. That's all you need to look at. And you're playing as a standing car that can beat people up, and you can like run over the other enemy and stuff. And like I love Japan, especially back then.
That
It's just
sounds.
real wacky.
Oh man, because it's like everybody like asks for this stuff nowadays, but like we actually had it back in the day, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I would love to have a game where I could punch Vincent Valentine in the face, even though I love Vincent. But, Drown said.
Also,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say
Nope.
that Drown asked these were secret characters that you had to get in this game.
possibly, yeah. I think they were unlockable because there was like a main cast of Air Guy specific characters. I do want to mention that the PS1 version of the game featured Zack.
No way.
Which was huge. It was huge. The arcade didn't have them, just the PS1 version. So that was like, I mean, if the internet existed back then, the hype would have been so real, because that was the only taste people had of Zack, besides what you saw in Final Fantasy VII.
Interesting. 1 second. We're doing a mic check. Can you hear me,
Sure.
Doctor?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Okay, sorry. We got a message that was like, I can't hear anybody, but we're good. Okay, sorry for that interruption. That's insane. And nowadays, I don't think people knew Zack as well back then as they do now with Crisis Core. So that would have been.
I mean, in my circle of friends, when we talked about Final Fantasy VII, we all loved Zack because he died for Cloud.
right.
So that gave him such a lasting impression. So I felt like, I mean, there was no internet really for us back then, but I felt like me and my circle of friends felt that way about Zack, and I felt like that was just everybody's reaction around the world about Zack. Anybody who played Final Fantasy VII, even before Crisis Core, was like, oh, we want so much more of Zack. And I feel like that's how Crisis Core came to be, is people just were so interested to learn more about Zack.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I feel like the game was so much more complete with him. And then Drowned also says,
My life is so much more complete with Zack.
oh, I know, isn't everybody's? I love Zack. So,
Vanessa's like nodding her head. She's like, yep.
hell yeah. Drowned asked was
learning about him now, but fuck.
Drowned asked if Tifa was in this game.
Yeah, Tifa's in there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like the big characters. Holy crap. And
So in the arcade, you got Cloud and Tifa
uh-huh.
playable. And in the PS1 version, you had Sephiroth, Yuffie, Vincent, Zack, Cloud, and Tifa.
Wow. Okay. So, and it wasn't just an exclusive Final Fantasy fighting game. It was like other thing. It was kind of like a Tekken, but you also got.
Yeah, like they had
Okay.
normal fighters that were part of that game that were not featured in other Square games.
Yeah, because now they do that with Tekken. So recently, Tekken 7 had Noctis put in there for some random.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
DLC.
So they're
Super
still
cool.
doing this, yeah, which is interesting. I think Square secretly wants to make a fighting game, and we all are just waiting for. Oh God, I would love that, honestly.
I feel like Smash Brothers actually inspired this like fighting game collaboration of getting characters from other properties into your fighting game, and I feel like that's fantastic because, like, as a fighting game enthusiast, for fighting games you want these like fantasy matches between like different characters from different games from different companies. So
Yeah,
the more the better.
yeah.
I agree, and that's kind of why I feel like it was almost strange that like the latest Dissidia wasn't really well received, because that kind of is that, right? Like there's a lot of like
Yeah.
different characters, and I never played it myself, and I know it used to be way more popular than it is today, but I always thought the concept was really, really cool.
Oh, I love the concept of Dissidia.
Well, the new Dissidia, I played it for a minute, and it is a fighting game, which I would have loved, but it was very confusing. It like wasn't simple. It was very like, it just, I don't know. It was really weird. It just wasn't my thing. I think I played a couple rounds. I never bought it. I just played the free demo, and it was just confusing. It wasn't very. I can see why it wasn't well received, honestly. So disappointing though, because I love the original Dissidia. I thought, oh, the original Dissidia is awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any I can't pronounce this one, airtights things to say? No? All right. So
These are all
God
so
bless
new
you.
to me. I'm learning so much.
I know, yeah. The first few I know none of us know of, but then the more we get to, the like more.
Time to go to YouTube, check out those gameplay videos.
I know.
It's like so cool.
Now we have no
It's like
excuse.
having a time capsule.
Yeah, and I bet for you, you can just like pick these up whenever because you have all of the original ones. So you're just like, it's like
Yeah,
interesting.
I just pop them in my PS3 and I start playing.
That's so nice. So your next one that you put is Einhander, which I have also never heard of this one.
I love this game so much.
Very German. Tell us about it.
So Einhander is a shoot 'em up. I love this genre of game, and I was surprised when like I saw this game at the store and it had the SquareSoft logo and there's a spaceship, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's totally a scrolling shooter, but it takes advantage of the PS1's hardware and like 3D graphics. It had like adjustable weapons. It was a similar formula to like Gradius, R-Type, those type of games.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh, did he cut out? Oh.
And you can tell that like this was inspired by those type of games because it was directed by someone who previously worked at Konami as a programmer on those shooter games, and up until then Konami was like the place that was making these type of shoot 'em up.
Interesting. So this was like almost, I don't want to say the first, but kind of like a very early version of a first-person shooter game.
No, like a spaceship shooter.
Oh, okay, like Galactica. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
like, and they would always put in like weird camera angles, like when you're trying to play. Like they tried to, give it like a PS1 spin from like the traditional just scrolling in one direction and like your spaceship moves around the screen. Like they tried to make this a lot flashier, which it was. Like it's also a very sought after game among collectors.
Oh my.
In your second bullet point, you have like a
Mhm.
description of the game, and it just makes me think of like Sailor Moon.
Well, right, because you got the war between the Earth and the Moon as part of the story for this game.
And then like Endymion is supposed to be the name of whoever Tuxedo Mask is a reincarnation of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do I want to play this?
And this one was 1998-ish, so this is all. I was only 4 when these came out, so
98 was a huge year for Squaresoft.
really, they did do a lot. Like I didn't even know. I only know about Final Fantasy VIII, so this is really like interesting. It makes me sad I didn't know about these before, but I know. I forgot what I was gonna say. Our next one, I know a lot of people know of. If we're ready to go on to that one, I'm ready. I think Chi-Chi's most ready for this.
Yeah, I mean the list is huge, so we can just.
So let me know if I'm going too fast. I'm just like, we've got a lot because we've got this and then we've got like other ones. So Vagrant Story is our next one. Chi-Chi said this immediately in chat, and then I was like, oh, we're doing that one. But I also know nothing about this one, but it seems like it was very well received because it's on multiple platforms.
Yeah, it's got a huge following.
Yeah. Does anyone else know about this?
I've had this suggested to me several times, and it is on my list, but I've not quite played it yet. But this is probably nothing, but I'm just looking at it, the picture. And I don't know why, but the art style, to me, looks a lot like an old Final Fantasy 12.
I was gonna say it kind of does.
Low-end Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, it totally does. I mean, that's what I see at least.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what? Chi-Chi keeps getting timed out by our bot. Our bot is mad at him.
For 600 seconds?
600. How long is that?
Well, the
It's like
bot
5 minutes.
is
Hold on.
saying that
10
Gigi was
minutes.
typing in all caps.
I'll fix that, Chi-Chi. I'm sorry. I just put this bot in for our Discord, and it's being a little bit of a bitch. So,
Bad bot. That's a bad bot.
Nightbot. I had it before, and it wasn't being this weird. Hold on, I'm about to keep. Okay, tell us about Vagrant Story while I fix this bot. So,
Vagrant Story. It was developed by the Final Fantasy Tactics team. So
Oh.
if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, you will love Vagrant Story.
interesting. So what is like? Is it more like Final Fantasy? It looks like Final Fantasy.
Well, like I would say, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics. You can get it on PSN. It's out. It's there on the store. You can play it on your PS3, your PSP, your Vita. A lot of these PS1 classics are available on the PlayStation Network store. Many of them in the US. Some of them you have to have a Japanese account and download it that way. This one's got a pausable real-time combat system similar to Parasite Eve. So I like that, Square was trying to experiment with different types of combat systems because people, a lot of people were getting tired of turn-based and, wanted to see what else is out there. And, up until Kingdom Hearts, really, they were testing things out and experimenting. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts is the result of a lot of their experimentation on the PS1.
Yeah. I feel bad that Chiji was so excited about this, and I'm trying to unlock him so he can. Oh god, we'll come back to this, Chiji. Yeah. I'll go on to our next one. We'll come back to this one just so then Chiji can, because I'm unlocking it currently. But we also have Legend of Mana, which is next, which I believe Drown Summer is currently playing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I think I don't know anything about Legend of Mana. Again,
so the one that came out on the PS1, that's the 4th game in the series and the first to appear on a PlayStation platform.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm waiting to see if Drown is going to say.
Oh, Secret of Mana. That's what he's playing. That's. Oh, God. All right,
Chiji. Yes.
Okay, Chiji should be able to talk now. I just kind of disconnected the bot until I need the Discord. So, Chiji, let us know if you can talk, so you can talk about.
Hylia put the bot in timeout.
Yeah, I'm like, stop it. I need to figure that out later. Yeah, but go ahead. Tell us more about Legend of Mana.
Me?
Yeah.
It's another action RPG. I basically featured it because it's a popular series, and it was still using mostly sprite-based art style, and it was very well received.
Oh, nice.
I don't have many strong memories about this one. For me, Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo, like that's the one. I've played through Legend of Mana once on the PS1. I have it. I think I should crack it out and get back to it.
Yeah, definitely. It looks really nice. It kind of reminds me of Chrono Trigger.
I know LT had a lot to say about this one.
LT, oh no, LT, yeah, LT definitely knew a lot of these, and we were hoping he could be here today to talk about it too, but he has some obligations today. So, and then Chiji can now talk, thank goodness. So if you have any thoughts about Vagrant Story, totally let us know. So then next one is Bushido Blade. Is this a fighting game?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
A very unique fighting game, and basically it was like a one-hit kill fighting game. It was very realistic. You fight with weapons, and you could essentially like either kill someone or cause severe like fatal wounds.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like a body damage mechanic on this one. So depending on where you attack, you could either kill someone or inflict bodily damage to specific parts.
Oh my gosh. So it's like an intense Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, basically, but it was like, it's really hard to describe. It's like, I keep wanting to think Karateka, but I can't remember if that was a one-hit game as well. That's a very old fighting game that was recently remade in the last few years.
Oh, it was remade.
Yeah, but Bushido Blade, I wanted to mention it because it was like you're spending most of the time like you're playing against somebody head-to-head, and one wrong move and you're dead. So it's mostly spent like dodging, running around a 3D arena.
Mm-hmm.
And really it was just so strategic as far as fighting. You weren't just like button mashing or trying to beat somebody up, because then most likely you'll get parried and then hit in the back or something. This also was one of the few games that supported the PS1 link cable. So if you had two TVs and two PlayStations, you can hardwire them together. And instead of having like the split screen setup, you were able to play against someone in the same house.
Okay.
So that's an accessory that wasn't really used on the PS1.
Interesting. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just so weird to hear all this, because now it's like whatever to us, we just connect through the internet, but like back then you had to have wires and shit. So
yeah, and like 2 controllers were limited on the console, so like some games that were 4 players, you had to buy a multi-tap so that you can plug 4 controllers in. And then this kind of game, you have to hook up 2 TVs, and 2 PlayStations together and be able to utilize the full screen on both. Who does that?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Craig says you can injure body parts if you attack legs. Your opponent will limp. You also have to follow a fighter's code to fully progress. Do you remember that?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I remember the body damage. I don't remember the fighter's code.
Interesting. Yeah, because when was the last time you played this game?
Same. Like, what? When did it come out? 97? Yeah, I probably played it 97, 98.
Wow. Back to Vagrant's story. Chiji says, before he got timed out, I'm so sorry about that. Really good music, really mature story and cast of characters, and it was super ahead of its time. Super deep combat and customization, FF Tactics teams, and it takes place in the same world. So, like, was an honorary Final Fantasy almost.
That's really neat. I actually did not know. I knew about 12 and Tactics being released, but I did not know about Vagrant's story.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I haven't never played Tactics.
Makes me want to play it even more. Oh, you should. Tactics is so good.
I'm just so bad at like tactical games like Fire Emblem. I'm horrible at it.
Oh.
Like I
love
tried.
those kind of games.
Oh, I get so frustrated. I'm like, I just want to beat their ass. I don't want to have to move around these characters. Like God. So, yeah. Our next one with pictures is I cannot speak English today. Saga Frontier, which this one looks adorable.
Yeah. I really have a soft spot for these sprite-based PS1 games because this was the generation where they were trying to move away from like the Super Nintendo 16-bit era vibe. And a lot of games were just sort of like going OD on polygons and 3D and the PS1 released with a 2D controller. All you had was a D-pad. Later, they brought out the DualShock with the 2 analog sticks.
Right.
So when you would get games that were still like 2-dimensional, sprite-based, I had to jump on them. And Saga Frontier is actually a really good game. I believe it's the 7th game in the series. And it's the first one that didn't use Final Fantasy in its title. I believe the original was called the Final Fantasy Legend on Game Boy. That's actually the first game of this series.
Okay. Yeah.
Final Fantasy Legend was?
Yeah, so the Final Fantasy Legend for the Game Boy,
yeah,
the first game of Saga Frontier of the series.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So all this is like somehow, not all of it, but most of them seem to be somehow tied to Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, because they were a lot of these developers and producers, they were staying within the company but exchanging different roles. Like Sakaguchi was still involved in the games, but more so as a producer later down the line, instead of like a designer or writer and things like that.
Awesome. Just to bring up, since I thought this was interesting, back to Vagrant's
Yeah.
story again. 12 Tactics and Vagrant, I'm assuming, story are all set in the same world. I didn't know 12 was in that mix. So that's
I didn't know that either. That's awesome.
That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, like all of these are somehow getting back to Final Fantasy. I don't know. Was that Square Enix's, like kind of going off topic a little bit, was that Square Enix's biggest accomplishment, Final Fantasy?
Which one?
Any of them. I mean, just like the series in general.
Well, Final Fantasy saved the company. Because,
Right.
It was basically Rad Racer came out first on the NES, and then they were just like, crap, we need money. We're going to go bankrupt. And Sakaguchi was like, all right, well, let me make this game. And that's why it was called Final Fantasy, because they were basically thinking it was going to be Square's last game.
Right, because it seems like they just always stick to this like same, not same, but just like somehow like bring it back. 'Cause with all these other games that they've made that seem like really great games, but they all kind of have the same element of Final Fantasy within them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like every single one.
It's always been their biggest success is the Final Fantasy series.
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess Kingdom Hearts now. But
oh yeah, well, Kingdom Hearts, some people do consider like a Final Fantasy-ish
it is
game.
What am I talking about? Yes, it is.
The earlier games had the characters like more
right.
so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they stopped there with. I was actually relatively. I think I've talked about this already, but I was actually relatively disappointed that there were no Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, they got to be here soon, and then they just never came, and I was like,
What are they doing?
It'd be so cool to see
Oh,
them.
Disney now.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you guys, we just want Disney.
If you get another Kingdom Hearts, there'll be like Avengers characters in there.
Oh
and
my
Marvel.
I will
God,
die.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
Iron Man. Hey, Sora.
What were you saying, Vanessa?
But I don't like that.
I don't either. I'm like not about that. I don't know. I'm not sure how I would feel with like Chris Henson and Kingdom Hearts. Like it just is kind of unsettling. Like or like Tony Stark. Like that would just be a little weird to me. But oh my gosh. So then
I want to give a shout out to what Chiji just said in chat.
Oh,
Chrono
go ahead.
Trigger is probably the most perfect game they've ever made. And yeah, it was like a dream project. And the developers that came together to make that, the collaborative team, they were known as the Dream Team because it was like Sakaguchi from Square, and then you had an Enix developer in there. So like Chrono Trigger was just like, yeah, I feel like it's probably the best game they've ever made.
Yeah, I'm still very slowly getting through that one. I need to just sit down and do it, but I've been playing too much Assassin's Creed. So your next one is Front Mission, which this looks like interesting.
Oh, can I mention one more thing about
Yeah,
Vagrant Story?
Of course, yeah.
So Vagrant Story came with the final 1998 or actually I think that was actually labeled 2000, but part of the same demo disc series, the Squaresoft collections. It came with Volume 3.
Okay.
So from the pictures earlier, the Volume 3 disc came with Vagrant Story.
Oh, okay. So tell us about Front Mission. This is a...
So Front Mission actually recently had a game come out on PS4. This Front Mission series, it's another like mech-based series, but it's created by Toshiro Tsuchida, and he made Ark of the Lad. I think that's a Super Nintendo game.
Oh, okay.
And it's a tactical RPG with mechs. So the first game is widely different from like what you would see now, but they've got like 4 or 5 of them. And the most recent one I think is called Left Alive.
And
it's
that
all
came
part
out
of the
last
same series.
year.
Yeah.
Has
They
anyone
have
played
a
Left
Front
Alive?
Mission on the PS3.
Okay.
I have Front Alive. It's in my backlog. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember that coming out. I just haven't played it. And
it had the like Metal Gear art style on the box art.
Okay. I don't know why I'm thinking of something else with a zombie, but that's just me getting confused. So is this one more kind of RPG? I mean, it is an RPG, tactical. So this is a tactical.
Yeah, it's the kind of RPG you don't like.
Oh, gross. Is it still like that today? Like the new one? Is that still?
Yeah, like when like the PS3 one that I have, that's more like just free flowing. So it's not as rigid. And it has like multiplayer and stuff, which is just like a mech battle arena, like versus. So that was really cool. So the series definitely evolved, the Front Mission series.
Yeah, Drown says that it is not Front Mission. Is that true? Or
Are you sure? No, yeah. Released in 2019, Left Alive is the latest game in the series. That's what I read.
Yeah.
And I haven't played Left Alive, so I can't say it for 100%, but that's what I read.
Interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't know either, which doesn't help our case, but you know what? That's fine. What?
How's the music in Front Mission? Do you like any of it? The soundtrack and stuff?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the music from the first one, but generally, like these mech games, always have my kind of music. They're very like they're either going to be like EDM or they're going to be like industrialish. So I like that kind of stuff.
Ooh, so it's like EDM. Nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
I'm on the...
Especially like in that era, the 1998, 2000 era, like there was a lot of like drum and bass and EDM from Japanese developers.
Oh, nice. I always love that. What, Vanessa? Sorry, you were cutting out.
Oh, sorry. I'm saying I do love EDM, but I was sorry. I know that was a little random, but I brought it up because I was looking at pictures of Front Mission, and then on Yoko Shimomura's website, she has a picture of it, and I guess she composed some of the songs on the soundtrack, and she's the same person who did Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Cool.
So we're back to a Final Fantasy thing with these games. But That's okay. I think that's just what Square does best. They kind of put it all together. So your next one is Threads of Fate. You don't have any notes about this one? Why does he
I think I had put that up for LT, but then he never added notes to it.
Have you played Threads of Fate, or has anyone, I
I
guess?
think this is the one I have not played.
Okay, we'll skip it. Never mind. I was going to say that guy kind of reminds me of Zidane, though. Like, in a weird way. Like, I just kind of get
Well, I mean, if anybody in chat has played Threads of Fate, feel free to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll go back to it. And then your last one is The Bouncer. Is this about a bouncer at a club?
That guy looks like Zell Tyson.
Yes, he does. He does look like Zell.
This game looks like something I would thoroughly enjoy. I just like silly beat 'em ups like this.
Oh, I
my
love
God.
beat 'em ups so much. Like, I grew up on Streets of Rage and Final Fight. So, like,
Yeah.
like you get this, you're like in the toy store and you're looking at this PS2 game, and it looks like some hybrid of like Sora from Kingdom Hearts and like maybe Zell, and he's just like cracking his knuckles on the box art, and you're like, what the heck is this? And yeah, so Square made a beat 'em up. It was released in 2000, co-developed by Squaresoft and Dream Factory. March 2001 is
So
when
it's
it
a little
released in
later.
the US. Yeah, so it came out in Japan in 2000 and then 2001 in the US.
Okay.
The character designs were by Tetsuya Nomura, so that's why it's like Final Fantasy beat 'em up. It's basically, yes, you're playing as one of 3 bouncers, or you can play as, I believe there was co-op. I never played
my
it in co-op.
God.
I played single player. But yeah, so there's 3 bouncers in a fictional city on a rescue mission, probably to save the mayor's daughter.
Oh my gosh.
No, they're saving,
Bouncers?
yeah, the bouncers are saving a friend of theirs from like this gang, who were like part of Shinra. So like they were basically like the Turks came and kidnapped their friend, and the Avalanche were like, we're gonna go beat him up. Is
Oh my-
essentially like the story.
Oh god, I want to play this. That sounds great.
Yeah, honestly.
Sounds like some alternate universe where
Yeah, it's like if Final Fantasy had like a Twilight Zone, they made the bouncer.
Well, and then you said that one of the characters, because when we were talking about this, yeah, there's one that looks like Zell, but then there's another one that looks freakily like Sora. And then that
Yeah.
game came out a year later. So it was
Yep.
just like a little bit too coincidental. But for me, at least. But
The same style of like the baggy shorts with like this chain, and I don't know, man. I guess it was like meant to like be inspired by like Japanese street culture at the time and be more like the streets of Japan, like run with crime.
oh my god, Vanessa,
It's only up to these like bouncers to save the day.
oh my god, I was gonna say,
Oh,
Vanessa,
that's
as a
right.
bartender, do you think your bouncers would save the day?
She's gonna save the day with those Tifa gloves.
True.
no,
Check these
no.
hands.
No, they wouldn't.
well, it depends on who we call on. Like back when the nightclub was open, anytime, like there has been fights that would break out in our lounge. We would call like the nightclub bouncers because they're like huge dudes and they actually are used to de-escalating stuff like that. But for like pretty mild stuff, like just kicking people out, that aren't fighting or getting aggressive, we just call the casino security.
Oh god, but they couldn't save the day. They couldn't save.
I wouldn't hide behind any of them, especially since all my friends left. So I don't know
Oh
anyone there
god.
anymore.
I mean, we can trust these bouncers, right? That's kind of great. I
These
love
guys
So
it.
look great, especially
Craig in chat. He said he said, I think all characters went around together. Maybe the AI controlled 2 of them. I remember the team attack combos. So he's right. I do remember team attack combos. I just can't for the life of me remember how that played out when I was playing the game. So I think he's right with the AI controlled partners.
Mm-hmm. So we don't have any more pictures, but there is a few games that we did want to talk about. Me and Vanessa, not sneakily at all, went into LT's stream one day because we wanted to ask him what games he would want to talk about, and he listed a few. So Vagrant Story was one. Also, Dragon Quest was another one. Has anyone played the original Dragon Quest? Because I've never played any of them except a little bit of 11, but that also is a Square game that's been around for a while. So, but he was just like, Dragon Quest? So, I don't know. I just was wondering if anyone knows about Dragon Quest.
I started with Dragon Quest XI. I think we actually talked about it in chat a little bit ago, but that was my first foray into the Dragon Quest world. I need to play it more. It was really fun while I was playing it.
Yeah. Did you play any of the older ones, Shadow?
Oh yeah. So Dragon Quest was basically Enix, and so when Square Enix merged, it was basically like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy are getting married, and that was huge for JRPG fans. I believe the first one on the NES was called Dragon Warrior.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, basically just consider a Final Fantasy game. I give huge props to the Dragon Quest series, man. Like that series is strong.
Well, it also has like the Dragon Ball Z artist who also did Chrono Trigger,
Mhm.
which is interesting. Everyone always compares it to Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, I do need to play that one. It's just so expensive right now. It's still 60 pounds. So Chi said I played the first one, the fourth one, and the eighth one, and I platinumed the 11th. God, there's so fucking many.
Nice job on the platinum. Chibi.
Yeah, nice. I mean, is Dragon Quest kind of like Final Fantasy, where each one is a different one, or is it a continuous story? That's what I always wondered. Anyone?
Yeah,
know?
I think they're ongoing in the same world.
Oh,
Correct me
okay.
if I'm wrong.
So it's like the first one progresses to the second one. Well,
I think there's
yeah.
different time periods.
Oh,
I
interesting.
honestly can't remember I remember the graphics, but I don't remember the story from the first one on the
Ah.
NES. Oh, it's different worlds.
It's different worlds.
Oh, so
chat
it's
says.
essentially Final Fantasy, just from
Yeah.
a different company originally.
Yeah, I guess. Craig has a comment for you. Shadow says that the bouncer, for the bouncer, one fighter might whistle, then you press a button and start the team attack. Ooh, that's kind of epic.
Greg, if the bouncer has co-op, you are more than welcome to come over and play with me.
Oh, that's so cute. So LT also had the game Star Ocean in his list that we sneakily asked him for during his stream. I also have never played Star Ocean, but have you guys played Star Ocean?
Star Ocean is like before Skyrim, how to drop 600 hours of your life. You can play Star Ocean.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never played that one. Sorry, I just like spaced out.
Bojangles just came in. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about the bouncer.
Yeah.
Bojangles, you got something to say about the bouncer?
Yeah,
Bring
tell
it
us.
up.
Also, Secret of Mana was also a Square Enix game, which I was wrong. Drowned is not playing Legend of Mana, but Secret of Mana. There's so many fucking manas in this gaming company. But I mean, I also have not played that one. I've only played I have not played.
Which one was the one that was released recently?
Wasn't that Secret?
Yeah, it was the Secret of Mana remake and then Trials of Mana.
Trials, that was the one. Okay. I mean, did you guys play Secret of Mana?
That was the one that came out. I could just literally check my Steam because I was playing it for a while.
Yeah, I saw Drown play it a little bit, and it is like a pixelated game, and it's also very beautiful. I'm very into like the beautiful sprites. It looks a lot like Chrono Trigger.
Trials of Mana, that's right.
Trials of Mana, okay. Trials of Mana remake, Secret of Mana 2. Okay. Oh, Secret of Mana 2. So there's more than one. Oh wow, there's so many games. But go ahead.
The thing that stuck out, it is such a weird thing, so I usually don't care about stuff like this. But the one thing that really stuck out for the Trials of Mana remake that I bought, like the one that when it came out to Steam, I could not stand the English voice actors at all.
Really? Why were they annoying?
Like, it not only it feels like they just went out into the street and like, hey, you want to talk into a microphone for like $20? And they're like, yeah, I guess. Like the voice acting was awful.
Oh my god. I think I remember you talking about that and being like, I had to turn it to Japanese. Did you do that?
I did. Yeah, and it's weird because I usually don't like to play video games in foreign languages.
But it was that bad.
Yeah, I had to switch it. The Japanese voice acting is fine. Like,
that's so crazy. Bojangle says
I've
never played a Mana game either and never fully grabbed my attention. Same with me. What about you, Shadow?
Well, I was just going to tell Doctor, I have a recommendation. If you're going to start looking up these other games from this list and watching YouTube videos and stuff, do a search for Mega Man 8 voice acting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You will appreciate every other voice actor for the rest of your life after that.
Oh god, now I want to look it
Yeah,
up.
I've heard horror stories.
It's like literally they hired some janitor retired from like New Jersey to play Dr. Light in that game.
Oh
It's
my
so
god.
bad.
Can you imitate it
voice
for
acting-
us?
Yes.
Do it.
I will put it. It's so terrible.
No, I want you to imitate it. I want you to try your hardest to do it right now.
But it's so bad because he like even screws up his lines. He's like, man, I gotta like remember what he said. He's like, see, now I'm on the spot.
No, it's okay. Here, you can link
You'll
it
have
to
to
the
come back to
Discord.
me.
Yeah, link it to the Discord. I definitely want to see that. So I want to backtrack because I forgot about this, and I know Doctor was very sad. He was almost not going to be here for this because he had a friend over and just needed a week off, which we all. And then I went on vacation. But it says, Octopath Traveler, please talk about this in my absence. But now you are here and you can talk about Octopath Traveler.
I forgot I was the one who wrote that.
Yeah.
I was looking at it the whole time. I was like, who wrote that?
It's you.
It was me the whole time.
Because I remember you kept saying it when we were talking about it, like, and together. You were like, "Please, guys, you got to please talk about Octopath Traveler, guys, please, you have to talk about, please."
Octopath Traveler to me hit me so weird because I had heard people like, "Hey, yeah, you should try this game. It's pretty good," but I was like just blown away by how good I thought it was. First of all, the graphics are amazing. It's like a pixelated game with like it is turn-based. The combat system works a little bit differently, but it is turn-based, and like you kind of, when you get into battle with things, it's kind of like these larger-than-life figures. It's gonna be really weird to say this, but it's like super high-definition pixel art.
Oh my god!
Is how it feels like. What is this? By the time Octopath came out, I was so done with old-school JRPGs. It's just such a shame. I would really recommend trying it, though.
I agree.
It's so good. The combat system is really unique. It's really easy to learn, but also at the same time, there's kind of like better ways to do things that you learn and pick up on it. Essentially, everybody has different types of attacks, and they can break people's stagger if you use the correct attacks on them. Then they can take like mega damage. I really liked the disjointed storytelling because essentially how the game is set up is I think there's 8. Yeah, the Octo. There's 8.
The Octo.
That all have their like own story or their own like quest that they care a lot about. And as you pick your first character and you do the quest, you can then choose any other of the people to go like get next. And then you work through their story, and then it kind of all comes together. Not super fleshed out, but it's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. I just like the short story aspect of things, and like all of the stories inside of them I was really interested in. They were interesting stories. There weren't any, to me, that felt lackluster. So, I don't know. I love it. I really, really recommend it. Please play the game.
It's in my Switch right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's
No
so
basically between Octopath and I Am Setsuna. Those are like, I'm so happy Square put these games out, like current.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about I Am Setsuna. So I've been seeing that a lot lately. Did that recently just come out or like remade or something?
I believe it was a launch title on the Switch, but it came out on the PS4 and the Vita originally. Maybe 2016, 2017, something like that.
Oh, okay. Because I've been seeing that very often recently. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just...
Octopath is newer than I Am Setsuna, but they're both sort of just giving this love to older JRPG style games.
Interesting. There is some other...
I have
go ahead. Sorry.
I have the bad voice acting, by the way. I'd like recalled it.
Oh, do it for us.
So if you go to YouTube and you just type out Dr. Wawi, I typed it in chat, you will find the exact video, but basically Dr. Light is just like, these seem to be energy resources, but I never seen this type on Earth. I don't know where this energy came from, but we cannot let it fall into Dr. Wawi's hands. You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man. Like the dude was half drunk so bad. so bad. Like, I don't know. Just look up Mega Man 8 voice acting, please. And
Oh my god.
any other terrible voice acting, like, will never compare to Mega Man 8.
That sounds like something like voices someone would make if they were playing with dolls. And
Yeah, exactly. Like, and they were making up voices for each of the dolls.
yes.
Oh my god. So before we have 2 more points to talk about. So other games that Square has made that are a little bit smaller, that are a little bit more recent. So I think me and Vanessa were just honestly researching it because we were genuinely curious kind of where Square Enix has stuck up their hands in to places. Life is Strange was one that we forgot about. We were both like, oh wait, we've played this game. I loved Life is Strange when it first came out, but now that it's past, I think, oh god, when did it come out? Like 8 years ago? It was a while ago. And now that people kind of talk about it more, we're all kind of realizing it was a good story, but the gameplay as a Telltale game wasn't that good. I mean, did you guys play Life is Strange?
I did not.
No? Oh,
I picked it up briefly, but I couldn't get into it.
no?
Why?
Did you play it, Shadow?
Yeah, it was released like an episodic game. In fact, you could probably get episode 1 on free on
Yeah.
Steam or PSN. And that was basically like the incentive. So it released similar to a Telltale game, but I don't think it was a Telltale game. I know you just said Telltale. But it's kind of like, yeah, you get this feel of like a point and click kind of.
Yeah. It was.
It's all like story driven.
It is, and there wasn't any combat in it by any means. It was, all by choice, but it came out in installments. So I think it was like once a month or like once every other month an episode came out, and it really would leave you on a cliffhanger. So you were kind of like, oh my god, I can't wait for this next episode. And it was really very cheap. I think it was like $5.
It was bi-monthly, I think, for the first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So January, March, May, July, and then the last one was October in the first game.
Yeah, because it was like and everyone would always be waiting for it. I remember, because even I was like on the edge of my seat.
It's on like every platform. It's even on mobile now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It was a good one, but I mean, I feel like the choices you made, there was maybe one where it really influenced the story, but other than that, it kind of didn't do much. I don't know. What did you think about it, Shadow? Because I was like enthralled in it when I was younger. I think I was, how old was I when this came out? I think I was 19. Oh no, if it was 5 years ago, I was 21.
Yeah, 2015 it came out.
Yeah, so it was 5 years ago when this came out, and I mean, I liked the story a lot. I think it was a really good story, but your choices really did not influence it that much. I don't know.
I feel like there's another game that came out last gen called Remember Me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that was like a more fleshed out game, but it was like similar themes in Life is Strange about like memory and identity, and I really liked it. And I love playing games as a female character because it gives me something I'm not used to in my life.
Yeah.
So I always love these kinds of stories. The second game I haven't played yet, but I am excited to play it. But I feel like if you're younger and like Life is Strange is part of like your coming of age years, I feel like it'll probably have a stronger impact.
Mm-hmm.
It'll resonate with younger people.
Yeah, I definitely did because I was a little bit younger when I played it. And also it was one of the, I don't want to say the first game, but it was a game that had like LGBTQ plus like influence, which was very influential at the time. This was 2015, about a year was it before it became legal in the States to be married. So this was a pretty big deal with Chloe and Max. At least I thought. I don't know if you remember that, Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it was, like literally the year that we were really fighting for gay marriage, and it was like right in front of us, which people were very happy with, and I think still are very happy with to this day that they went that way, especially Square Enix, which we would never think would have like a lesbian couple. So
yeah, and I feel like that helped bring like inclusion to gaming.
Right, for sure. So now that we say that 16 might not have a gay couple, well, I don't know, they might. They did it in Life is Strange. So, but then again, that was a very Americanized game, so it could have been, that's why.
That's true as well.
Yeah, very Americanized, very international.
Representation is important.
It is. We need more of it. I actually saw a tweet today that was like, I wish I could find it right now, but It was just like, why is it such a big deal to have representation? And I was like, oh, it's so true. But anyways, Tomb Raider was also a Square Enix, or they weren't originally Square Enix, was it? Like the older games?
Eidos got absorbed by Square Enix.
Okay, because the newer ones, the newer ones are Square Enix.
So like the Hitman series, Tomb Raider, all of those properties are now part of Square Enix.
Oh, that's crazy. They were like, let's get Lara Croft up in here.
But I love what they did to Lara Croft, because originally she was just like triangle breasts and like just fan service, and now she's like a real fleshed out character.
Well then, what was it? So I put on here, I liked her better blocky. I don't know why. I played the newer ones and I was like, I mean, she's hot, but like she was hotter in the day. I don't know, that's just me, but
I love the original Tomb Raider like trilogy on the PS1. Like those are awesome. Like you're cave diving and it's like a female Indiana Jones, and then all of a sudden you're fighting dinosaurs and stuff. You're like, what the hell? So yeah, they were very action packed and whatnot, but I wasn't a fan of like the fan service back then. Like Tomb Raider 2, in the end, like you're almost like about to watch her get in the shower, and I'm like, what is the point of this ending? And she pulls out a shotgun and shoots you, like the camera.
Yep.
And then it just sort of falls down and tumbles over, and I'm like, what was the point of that? Like, I just watched this amazing game. She beat the bad guys. She got this like artifact, whatever, beat the demon and stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm about to watch her in the shower. Like, come on, that's cheesy.
Oh man, they were playing.
I always thought that scene was funny because
it was hilarious. Like I didn't
feel
have
out
the
of place though.
Yeah, it made me feel uncomfortable. Like, wait, hold up! You're forcing me to watch you get in the shower. You don't shoot me.
Oh. Vanessa, can you say what you just said in chat?
What?
I like that quote you just said.
Oh god. Wait, the one I just typed in?
Yeah.
Right, hold up. I gotta squint a little bit, I can't see. Square is now a giant blob, soon to be super blob, carefully absorbing all of the smaller video game companies, slowly gaining mass and strength to take over the world.
Oh no, it's like Akira.
I know, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And then we did have, so I'm just going to name out the ones that we put that are also now Square Enix games. So Life is Strange, we already talked about. Full Metal Alchemist actually had a few games that were Square Enix. Me and Vanessa were looking this up and we were like laughing our asses off. We had no idea. We actually looked up.
Japan only. Was that in the West? I don't remember any Full Metal Alchemist games.
There was 2 in the West, and then there was 1 that was only Japanese. So there was, there was Full Metal Alchemist and the Broken Angel, Full Metal Alchemist and the Curse of the Crimson Elixir, and then the one that was only in Japan was Full Metal Alchemist, and it was a Japanese title, so we couldn't read it. But so yeah, there's some Full Metal Alchemist games out there that we did not know about.
Of all the games I have not played on this list, I have actually played the Full Metal Alchemist.
No way! Tell us about it, please.
I really can't, honestly, because I was a little jaded at the time. I thought, like, I was really young, and my younger brother was really into the Full Metal Alchemist, like the show, and I just didn't get it at the time. I didn't really like anime at all. And so he tried to kind of bring it to my world by getting video games based on like Full Metal Alchemist and having me play and watch him play. And I honestly couldn't remember anything about the game, but I have very distinct memories of him playing that game and just me watching and then me taking turns with him.
That's so cute. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm actually surprised. I was like, I don't know a single person who knows these games, so...
I really laughed when I saw this on the list. I was like, holy shit, I forgot about those.
Oh my god. Also, we have Persona 4 was a collaboration. I've never played the Persona games. I tried to play 5. I hated it, and I couldn't get through it. I didn't know about that. And we also had someone in chat, but it's also on our list. The Batman Arkham something. Hold on, I need to find it. Batman Arkham Asylum is also a Square Enix game. Has anyone played that one? I remember that coming out, but I didn't know it was Square Enix.
Well, I think the Batman was a collaboration.
Because
Batman is Warner Brothers.
Right. Yeah, it does say collaboration in our notes, so it was a collaboration.
I could never get into superhero-based video games.
Me neither. What were you going to say, Vanessa?
I forgot.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. Drown said that Play Arts did a Batman figure, and I do remember seeing it on the Square Enix store.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that not recently, but I do think I remember seeing something. Well, now they have like, because I go on the Square Enix website often to look at the figures and stare at them and gawk over them, but they do have like Marvel on there, and I'm like, why?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did they?
They're coming out with the Marvel's Avengers game.
Yeah, they're releasing Avengers, so this is all like promo stuff.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So they're kind of getting their hands into a few video game, superhero video game series.
Soon.
They
This is
also
an easy transition. They already work with Disney for like the Kingdom Hearts games.
yeah, it kind of is. It's weird. It's like we have such kind of a niche cult with Final Fantasy, but at the same time we don't. I forget how Square Enix really is a really big company because I feel like
Oh, and they publish a lot of indie stuff too. Like they recruit indie developers to put out games, especially like on mobile platforms. Like Square has blown up so much
that's crazy.
from like just developing games. They're now like just full-time publisher.
That's awesome though. I mean, like,
Yeah.
especially because we have such a love for Final Fantasy, and I feel like not a lot of people know about it, even though a lot of people do know about it. Just I feel like some people don't. Doctur had a really funny thing to say about before we were gonna start. He was just looking through notes, and he's like, "I didn't know Square Enix was involved in Diablo 3," and you had something to say about Yoshi P, and I would love for you to say it again.
Oh, yeah, sure. So I was very surprised to see Diablo 3 on our list because to my knowledge, they had nothing to do with Diablo 3. Yeah, I'm a Blizzard kind of guy too. So I play all their video games, and we found out through researching that the collaboration with Blizzard was to localize the game in Japan. But what I said about Yoshi P is not people realize that Yoshi P loves Blizzard games. He loves Diablo a lot, and he goes to BlizzCon every year.
Oh,
Isn't
nice.
that so cute? Like,
And it's funny, he actually because the whole thing is like I played a couple different MMOs. I play World of Warcraft a lot, and I play Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is so well known for like doing collaborations with like their other games or other stuff inside Final Fantasy 14. And Yoshi P has gone on the record and said he would love to do a crossover event with World of Warcraft.
oh my
And-
god,
But World of Warcraft will never agree to it, I guarantee it, just because like
they hate
World
us.
of Warcraft's biggest competitor in the MMO world is Final Fantasy 14 by a lot.
Oh,
And so they don't
100%.
want to give them any more like publicity than they have to.
I know.
But Yoshi is just like, I love Blizzard.
He's like, you're my inspiration. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to beat you. Like, kind of. Oh, poor guy. So somebody asked if we were talking about Chrono Cross. I don't think we really brought Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger in this because we just recently had an episode about both of them. If you check out our YouTube channel, that was with Chrono Katie, who is amazing, and she has so much knowledge about Chrono Trigger. So check that out if you can. So last but not least, I totally neglected this at first because I wasn't sure where to start. But Shadow, you did have a section about this character we have called Sakaguchi, if you would like to talk about that.
Sakaguchi is the father of Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And when he eventually left Square, I mean, he helped create Chrono Trigger by, combining the Dream Team. And I feel like that Dream Team collaboration with Chrono Trigger helped set the roots for merging Square and Enix originally. And he's just an amazing writer and developer. Like everything he puts out, I end up loving. He ended up starting a company called Mistwalker, who made a lot of Xbox 360 games because Microsoft published them. If there was like a Mistwalker collection available, I would pay like $1,000 for it, easy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like there are a few games like Lost Odyssey on the Xbox 360. It's a turn-based, think a turn-based Final Fantasy 13, but the story is amazing and it's a lot of fun. He made another game called Blue Dragon, and one sleeper hit that he made on the Wii is called The Last Story, and I really hope they remake that and put it out on the Switch, because that and Xenoblade were like the huge heavy hitters on the Wii.
I think I remember a lot because a member in our community was playing Lost Odyssey on his stream, Phoenix Down. I had seen it, but I never
nice.
played it. Yeah, I've seen all these games in the store, but I never played them, which is interesting because I'm such a Final Fantasy fan.
So like, especially with JRPGs, like Xenogears would be my number one, and then Lost Odyssey is my number two.
Interesting. Have you guys played this game, Doctor or Vanessa?
Not.
No, all right. And an interesting point you had here that made me like double take was that Master Eriquis was designed to resemble Sakaguchi. Was that? I did not know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that. It's just weird. I didn't know about Sakaguchi much. I hear that name very often, but
Okay, so then you need to watch on YouTube. It's by a group called Mega 64. It's called Sakaguchi's Final Fantasy.
okay.
And they're like, they do like skit comedy, but like in real life. So they'll go to like a shopping mall and then they'll like cosplay as like the Resident Evil merchant and just start like cosplaying around random strangers, and people like are, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? And usually end up calling the cops. Those are the kind of videos that they
Oh
make.
my god.
Yeah, like the guy will come dressed up as like this creepy merchant and he's like, "What are you buying?" Like everybody's like, "What?"
I love
They've done,
that.
They've done reenactments of like just Castlevania, Paperboy, like they're awesome. So they actually got good connections. Like they're able to get what's his name, dude? Metal Gear. Why am I drawing a blank?
Snake?
No,
Oh.
the guy who made Metal Gear and
Oh, I don't know.
the one who got kicked out by Konami. Oh my god.
I wouldn't know.
People are gonna hate me for forgetting his name.
If anyone knows, please let us know because I have no idea.
Oh my god, I feel so stupid now. That's like completely drawing a blank. They got him to show up on their videos. Wait, Vanessa, you know?
Is it the guy who made Death Stranding?
Kojima, that's right. Hideo Kojima. Yes, Death Stranding. So they got Kojima in a couple of their videos. They did a promo video for Metal Gear Peace Walker on the PSP with something that Konami put out called Transfaring. Anyway, so they've done a couple of like, it started with the father of the PlayStation. They did a video of his called, what the heck was it called? Kutragi's Way. It's a hilarious video. It's about basically how the PlayStation was created. And it's just a parody. So then they did a second one called Sakaguchi's Final Fantasy. And it's like, it's inspired by the reality of Sakaguchi's career with Squaresoft, but like it's just a huge parody and it's hilarious. They basically say like Sakaguchi wanted the first one to be his last one so that he can become a rapper.
Oh my gosh.
And then he keeps putting out like these Final Fantasy games that keep like blowing up, and he's just like gets fed up. And so it's like every Final Fantasy game, the stories get more chaotic because he's actually trying to sabotage them.
Oh my gosh. You'll have to link that to the Discord. I want to see that.
Yeah. It's a hilarious video.
Oh my god. So any last things to say before we make a couple announcements and close off?
Yeah, any shout outs for games that you didn't hear about today that you love that happen to come from Squaresoft or Mistwalker or just whatever, anything from these companies?
Yeah, let us know. And also we'll definitely continue this chat in our Discord, which now, you guys, I have a command for it. I hope this it fucking worked. Okay. So totally join our Discord. Now we can always pop that in. And even though it kicked out Chiji for a minute, because he got excited.
Is out of the doghouse.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I just it was Doctur who saved him and figured out how to banish him. So go Doctur. What did you say, Doctor?
I was just saying, yeah, I didn't even know how to do that. It took me a while to figure it out.
Because I was like trying to like unlink the bot. I did not anticipate this happening. So Chiji, you were kind of our sacrifice. But join our Discord. We'd love to. Oh, someone said Drakengard. We did have that on our list, but it was something LT was going to bring up.
Chiji's done it. Yeah, Drakengard is a good series. It started on the PS2. I believe the third game was called Nier on the PS3 gen. And then
they're the same game.
Yep, it's the same story, same world, same characters. And the last one is called Nier Automata.
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to pronounce it.
I was actually going to bring that up, but I wasn't sure.
Very underrated series.
Oh my god. Someone keeps bringing up how the main character in Nier, like in her description, she's actually like 350 pounds, even though she's like this banging body, and everyone's really confused why she's 350 pounds, and I don't know why that. Yeah.
She's like she's
very densely packed.
Oh, okay. I've never played it, so I need to though. I know that's definitely on my list. Vanessa, what did you say about Nier? Did you play it?
Oh no, it's like bad on my list though.
Same,
I watched a
yeah.
lot of playthroughs though, so I know how the story goes.
Man, yeah, we had a lot. I mean, there's a lot. We could talk about this for days, about just like the different games. And like even I'm gonna put it like on our Discord and maybe on Twitter, but Shadow has this beautiful outline of like PS1 era games, PS2 era games, modern era, Sakaguchi, like Shadow, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You really know your shit.
Town.
Yeah. So, yeah, so Drakengard, that's interesting. I didn't know that. They all kind of just blend together. But yeah, so a couple announcements. Join our Discord. Also, we've been doing some movie nights in our Discord. So we watched Spirited Away this week, and then 2 weeks ago we watched Advent Children. This week we're going to be watching Princess Mononoke. So if you guys would like to come and watch it with us, we'll be watching it at 7 p.m. CST and 8 p.m. EST. So come join us. It was very fun the last 2 times. We really enjoyed it. Also, next week I do have a topic. I'm not sure if I want to announce it yet because I haven't told you guys what it is. So, I mean, I can if you want me to. So, it's up to you.
Yes.
Okay, so pretty much we've been trying out this book club thing. And the recent Final Fantasy 15 book came out, and I read it, and I fucking hated it. But I finished it. I finished the book. I finished it. I begrudgingly sat there and made myself fucking finish that horrible, horrible book. But anyways, we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy 15 next week. So that because we were supposed to be doing this topic this week, but I just like needed a minute to be angry about this book and how much I hate it. So we are just going to talk about Final Fantasy 15 in general next week because I just don't like this damn book. Anyways, yeah, but I mean, those are my announcements. Join our Discord. All the info's there. Anybody else have anything to say before we head out?
I'm the movie night with us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just like talk and chat and we goof off and yeah, you guys get to pick the
Make
movies.
Silly jokes.
I know we're just like stupid about it, but it's great. So, yeah. But anything else, you guys?
No.
Awkward silence. All right. Yeah. Who just said they were gonna buy the book? Lil Puri, don't fucking buy the book. I'm just saying, don't buy it. It's stupid. Okay. Anyways, thanks for coming today, guys. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you on Discord and everything. Hasta la vista.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.